In today's video, you're going to learn everything you need to know regarding template strings within JavaScript. We are first going to talk about what they are, and then I'm going to talk about how they work and give you some examples and some different use cases of when these are particularly useful. All right, so first things first, what is a template string? These are also called template literals. You'll see these used interchangeably. So template string, template literal, I would kind of view those one and the same. Now, a template string is a term to describe basically creating a string within your program that has certain placeholders within the string. And then within those placeholders, you can inject a JavaScript expression. And within that JavaScript expression, whatever that expression evaluates to, that is then going to be kind of injected into your string. So you basically create a string template and then make that template more dynamic with JavaScript. So let me first show you an example of kind of combining things together or combining JavaScript expressions together with strings without using template literals. And I think it will be much more clear why template literals are probably a good idea. So we're first going to kind of use an example with string concatenation. So this is kind of just joining some strings together using the plus symbol in JavaScript and adding them together. So here I have a const called YouTube channel, and it is assigned the value of code Ryan. And then I have a constant my name, which is assigned the value of Ryan. And then I create another constant called greeting, and I say, hi, my name is, and then here I use a plus sign, and then I add my name, which is this string. And then I use another plus sign, and I say, in my YouTube channel is, and then another plus sign and add my constant YouTube channel. So here I'm concatenating this string together to create this greeting. And in the end, you'll see that this greeting will log out. Hi, my name is Ryan and my YouTube channel is Code Ryan. So that works. That gets the result I want. But as you can see here, like even in this kind of basic example, this isn't all that like easy to read. And it kind of looks a little bit messy with these plus signs. And then I have to remember to keep a space here between this is and my name here. So it looks kind of human readable. So it's not like the best thing. And template strings will help us solve kind of this problem and make this much easier to reason about here. So let's look at this, but using a template string instead, or a template literal. So here I have the same constants, YouTube channel and my name, but here I'm actually going to create a template string. So the way that this is done is to create a template string, you need to use backticks. Instead of using like a double quote or single quote, you need to use backticks. And these backticks are going to tell JavaScript, hey, this is going to be a string, but I'm also going to potentially use JavaScript expressions within this. Now, you don't need to necessarily use JavaScript expressions within a backticks string. You could just use backticks for your strings. That's usually not the common practice. Usually people will use backticks for a specific use case, like using these JavaScript expressions within it or multi-line strings, which I'll talk about here in a second. But to create a template literal, you use the backticks. And then when you want to use a JavaScript expression, you use a $, and then you open up a pair of curly braces. And within these curly braces, that is where you can write any JavaScript expression. So this could be even like a ternary operator or the double ampersand operator, the or operator. You could have some of those expression conditionals in there. You could do some basic arithmetic in here and different things like that. Any valid JavaScript expression will be valid within these curly braces, as between these curly braces, that's kind of saying, hey, we are now in JavaScript land. I can use any JavaScript expression within this. So here, what I'm doing is within JavaScript land, within this string here, I am injecting my variables, my name and YouTube channel between the curly braces here. And then if I run this, you're going to see I get the same result, but to me, this is just much more readable. I don't need to worry about the plus signs. I don't need to worry about keeping my spaces. I just write my string and open up these placeholders here with $, curly brace, and then inject my JavaScript in. And just to show you here, I could do something else like my name, and then I'll just add and S on the end, and you'll see that this is a valid JavaScript expression. And now you can see, hi, my name is Ryan's, and my YouTube channel is Code Ryan. So you can have an expression in here, and that's going to work just fine. All right, so opening up those curly braces are going to tell you that it's JavaScript land, and then in front of the curly braces, you need that $ as the syntax to just kind of tell JavaScript that, hey, this is going to be a JavaScript expression here within this template literal. Now, to show you a little bit different of an example here as well, let's actually just query these values here from an object. So here I have constant greeting object, and then I have two properties, YouTube channel and my name, and they have the same values as before, Code Ryan and Ryan. And then here within my greeting, we'll talk about the multi-line thing here in a second, but in my greeting here, I have the very same thing, but here, instead of just accessing a variable, I have greeting object dot my name. So I'm accessing the my name property on the greeting object. So this example just goes to show that it doesn't have to just be a variable that you plug in within your curly braces. It can be any JavaScript expression. You could be getting values from an object or an array, or you could even map over an array within that expression and then join that together or something like that. There's a lot of different things that you could kind of plug in here. I would recommend not making it too complex because then we kind of lose that readability, but it could be any JavaScript expression. So if I run this, you're going to see I get the same result. However, in this result here, you can see that it prints this out on two different lines. And that is because when you use backticks, it maintains the multi-line formatting. So this is going to maintain two lines to my output here. So backticks, they support multi-line strings, and then it will maintain that multi-line formatting. So this could potentially be useful if, say you wanted to write a email or something. You might say like something like, hello, user. Thank you for signing up. Have a nice day, Ryan. And then if I run this here, you're going to see that this maintains this formatting here to where I have it in more of a email structure. Hello, user. Thank you for signing up. Have a nice day, Ryan. So it's on these separate lines here because backticks will support these multi-line strings, and it will kind of respect that formatting when that is outputted from your program. And an additional use of these backtick strings here is that it can allow you to use double quotes and single quotes all within a string. So what I mean by this is, so if I change my string a little bit and I write, hi, my name's Ryan and my YouTube channel is Code Ryan. Well, what if I wanted to put Ryan within double quotes and Code Ryan within double quotes? And then what if I wanted to use for hi, my name's, my apostrophe S? What if I wanted to use that apostrophe there instead of just my name is? Well, if I was using just a double quote string or a single quote string, this wouldn't work because like if I start this with a single quote, you can see that it's saying my only string is hi, my name, and then all of this has a syntax error because I have my opening and closing single quote. So I can't use a single quote here. And I also can't use a double quote here because I get the same thing to where it's saying my string ends right here, hi, my name's, and then everything after this closing double quote right here, that is going to have a syntax error because I'm closing off this string and this syntax doesn't make sense. But if I use a backtick here, you can see that this is going to evaluate correctly. And since I only have these opening and closing backticks wrapping this string, I can use this apostrophe S and then these double quotes within this string. So another helpful use case for using these backticks is when you need to use apostrophes or double quotes within your overall string, well, you can just wrap it in backticks and all of that is going to remain valid. So template strings within JavaScript, they effectively allow you to create a string with certain placeholders within them. So you create this string template, and then that template is made more dynamic using JavaScript expressions within those placeholders. And the way that these work is that you need to create a string using backticks. So you don't use singular double quotes, you use backticks. And then within that backtick string, If you want to use a JavaScript expression, use a $sign and then open up a pair of curly braces. And within those curly braces, that is then JavaScript land, in which you can add any JavaScript expression, and that will be coerced into a string, and then it will kind of be injected into your overall string. And then also with the kind of backtick strings, they have a couple other nice features in which multi-line strings are valid with using backticks, and it will respect that formatting. So that will be the output. It will maintain that formatting. And then additionally, if you need to use apostrophes or double quotes within your overall string, then you can wrap your string in backticks and you won't run into those conflicts in which you're kind of opening and closing a string too early. So those are template strings within JavaScript. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Stay tuned for future videos on tagged templates and additional JavaScript, React, front-end development concepts.